Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, March 4th, 2026 meeting of the Norfolk County Commission to order. Welcome.
Can I go check if they're all going on?
I'm going to read the executive order on remote participation. On March 26, 2025, Governor Healy signed into law House Bill 62, an act relative to the extending of certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, which included a 2-year extension of the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Sections 1825. That extension was effective immediately, extending the current option for remote meetings through June 30th, 2027. Welcome all. We're live and on remote. You can all stand and join me in saluting the flag. Appreciate it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I might say the new paint and new lighting, whatever. It shows a reflection. I'll get used to it. Thank you. We do have an executive session today, and if I have no objection, I'd like to take one item out of order so they don't have to wait from the school for the executive session. And then we'll gonna call the order. I'm going to take the roll call, and we could go right to 105. It's not 5 appointments, and take the school, then go back to executive session. So we don't have to hold up the superintendent and the business manager. We only have to hold up our general counsel. Any questions? Okay, a motion to
roll call. Roll call.
Take number 5 out of order.
No, we have roll call. We haven't had a roll call yet.
Oh, I missed the roll call.
Yeah, we have the roll call.
Stady. Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
Commissioner Shea is here, and we have a full board.
There you go.
Take us to the motion to.
I'll make a motion that we take the agricultural high school under item 5 appointments to review their budget out of order.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna ask the school team to come up and take a seat with us. This is our 3rd week of accepting budgets for review. We have taken them and up until today, and I see no reason why today is going to go any different. We've taken them all under, you can discuss anything you want today, but we've taken them all under our wing for further review, and then we have another bite at the apple later in the budget session. And I know that we could recognize and probably for the 3rd time welcome the new business manager, and we've thrown her right into the budget kerfuffle, which is always interesting. In my first days here 10 years ago, we would be here on July 31st doing the budget.
Oh, really?
Last 5 years under, who, it hasn't happened, and we stick to our schedule. But
nice.
Having said all that, welcome. As I said earlier, this is.
So I just
Go ahead.
you want me to start?
Do this.
Okay, you can go first. Go first.
Superintendent. Jared, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, thanks for having us today. One of the things that is very important to me as a superintendent is timeliness and being on track for everything. The school has been without a business manager since the end of the last calendar year, and we were without a business manager, now assistant superintendent, up until about 3 weeks ago. And that's when we took Jenna on board to fill those shoes and take up the reins of that office. And that said, between not having a business manager on staff, that was one of the reasons why we're a little bit behind. But Jenna is going to share with you some preliminary numbers. But between the not having a business manager, I would just like to say that in the 3 weeks she has been on staff, she has acclimated extremely quickly and extremely well. And she's really taken the bull by the horns and actually modernizing all of our forms, processes, and all the spreadsheets that go along with it. So I could not be more impressed with the exemplary work that she's doing right now. So no pressure.
No pressure,
No
no.
pressure.
So, when you add to that, we have many calculations that we're looking at in the budget. One of them, of course, is our capital needs at the Ag. Yes, we have many aging buildings, but the other part of it also is enrollment. We always do really well with the number of applications we receive. We get about 450 applications for roughly 155 seats. This year we were hit with the mandated lottery as every other vocational school in the state was hit. Right now we are accepting and finalizing the class for the fall. And we have about, I believe, 130, 140 acceptances from our students right now. The issue with that is right now the trend is more in-county versus out-of-county students. And there's obviously there's a vast difference in the tuition that we charge for both of those. So that's something that would take into account as well. We should have those numbers finalized, our class finalized probably within the next couple of days. And that way they were really going to know where we landed. So we're trying to take everything into account as when developing a budget to be as accurate as possible. So before I go beyond my scope, I go over the agenda now.
And thank you. That was very nice because my head has been in the computer pretty much since I got everything working and set up the way I needed to. Just to let you know how I formed this too, I took last year's budget and I hope I got all the components, but I pulled all the components and this sheet right here, my summary sheet, the portrait page. So this is how I pulled in revenue and expenses. I've been meeting with administrators and anyone that has a say in what they need in their budget. Like I've met with the nurse. I have a few more people to meet with, maybe about 4. And I feel like we'll be in a great space amongst those actual numbers. So I based the tuition on October 1st numbers from 2025, which is pretty much standard with developing the budget. But if we have more time, we can do the actuals as they come out. So that revenue for tuition might change. So if you look at the first column, anything where I put a placeholder in, I just increased by 3% on all your revenue items. And then I have all the expense items, and that is all related to salary. And then I have broken it down by operations, capital operations. So that's all our contract services, equipment, indirect expenses. I pulled into one line and I made it part of the business office because that's really where those things live. So that's like your retirement, insurance, OPEB, all of those kind of human resources things that not pop up. It's part of the majority of that budget. Yeah. I have some salary requests for new positions that Jeremy and I haven't even gone through and cut things yet. This is the first time because I wanted it hot off the press today. I wanted the most accurate and current numbers for you all to see. And I know they're not 100% done. So we'll look at it with a little bit of caution. Supplies and materials. I got all this from, I asked everybody, the admin team and whoever else needed to submit a budget, that they really tell me what they need, not what they've carried every single year because they're afraid they won't get it the following year. So I'm trying to make a true needs-based budget with the staff. So that is the breakdown. Things don't necessarily compare with 26 and 25 because some of the categories were broken out different. And then I broke them out a little more so that non-union miscellaneous positions, that number might change a little bit with the new bargaining agreement for union staff that isn't teachers, all those new people. So it's going to be a wash though. If it moves into non-union, it's going to come out of at one of these other salary spots. And then I just summarized these things by 3 different categories. So on the second page, the landscape page, the first category is again, all those salaries and stipends and longevity. The second blocks with budget category. Then I broke down everything by contract services, equipment, because this is how I've had a report for the end of year report that the state expects. These are some of the categories that they expect. So I wanted to get out ahead of that. And hopefully the categories mostly align with state reporting. And then the last column, I broke it down by department. So you can see I'm meeting with admissions and recruitment next week. Athletic department is going to come from the principal at some point. dean of students. I'm meeting with her in food service. We've been meeting. She's also going through that administrative review from the state. So this is how everything stands as of this morning when I printed this. So I'm almost there. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything, and that's probably going to take me into next week, but it's close. So I don't know if you're looking for an approval next week or the next time we all meet at the Wednesday
When
night
are we,
meeting.
when are we, what does the calendar say after you meet with them after this?
So today is the last day of budget presentations on the budget calendar. If the schools have a revised budget that, for example, gets adopted by the trustees next week, it simply needs to
Okay.
be submitted through through my office. We'll incorporate it into the final version that will be represented to you on March 25th.
Okay.
Hold on, so excuse me, Mr. Chairman. So our job as commissioners, we're voting all the budgets March 25th. That's because it's in advance of the advisory board, which meets in April.
That's right.
Okay.
But you will, I mean, I yield to the superintendent, but I guess my expectation would be that as trustees, Commissioner Stady,
Mhm.
you may very well be asked to take a vote next week on the school's
Understood.
budget.
No, understood.
So,
I
in
know.
fact, it's the same as a vote for the
Right.
commissioners.
So
So
let's just advise, we're taking it under advisement.
that's right.
But they only take it under advisement.
Right, right.
Because that's the way we treated everyone. Everyone's been, they're on time, as a matter of fact, even if they're not 100% up to speed. But based on that, we'll work with them.
And I'm still digging for some things to figure out, to kind of track last year's budget to where it ended up in the system. I'm not putting budget codes on anything until I actually start putting it into the system, because it might align differently again with those budget codes. So that 19,000 at the bottom of total expenditures on the bottom of the tall page, we're at about 19 million, and that's with only hearing from, that's the majority of the departments. The last few numbers I need, it's not like we're going to be adding another million to this. I would think maybe 50K. Technology also, that number might change as well, department wise. So this is where I am as of today.
So we're running at a deficit according to what you're saying, right?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
You're predicting a deficit.
I am predicting, well, the only
Your
thing.
revenue of expenditures 19 million, revenue 18.7.
Yeah, that's a deficit, but I haven't put in a reserve fund contribution, and I don't know who determines that figure, if that comes from one of the trusts. So I've left that blank for now. I don't know what that number means, reserve fund and I don't know who decides where that comes from. So that is one question I had.
Let me ask a couple of questions.
Sure, go ahead.
I got a bunch here. So, all right, so you say you put in 3%. I understand that.
Yep.
But let's go back to the chapter 70, base and trans.
Okay.
Those numbers are available, aren't they? Aren't they available?
Those are actuals.
Those are
Chapter
actual.
7 base is actual and transportation is actual. I
so
got
those-
those from the cherry sheets.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so make sure you're aware of that.
Yep. Those are actuals.
Okay, now, please explain this. I'm confused. I'm really struggling with this. Under non-union
Yep.
and athletic stipends, if I look at 26 and I look at 27, it's like, holy cow, what's going on? You
So,
got 3 million and you're down to 400,000.
right.
And athletics is 400,000 roughly. It drops down to 140. What's going on?
So I categorize some things differently. And I can give you more detail on that too. I'm happy to get you more
Well, stipends
detail.
are stipends. What did you
They are stipends are stipends, but some of the student activity stipends and the athletic stipends were all on the same chart. So I pulled only anything that had to do with athletics.
Okay.
And then I broke down the student activity stipend as separate.
Okay.
So I think in the past you
So
might
it's
have
in
gotten
there.
all those together.
Okay.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
split them because I wanted to see exactly what athletics
Okay,
is
so for
going.
non-union, you got 3 million and it drops down to 400,000.
Yep, and that's the same. So most of these categories right here, where it's blank, I broke them down a little more. So if you look
Wait,
at
what are you talking about? What's blank?
if you look at
This
FY
page or this
26,
Okay.
the long page, I don't know, the portrait
All right,
page.
that's right, we'll call it page.
See that 3.3 million number?
Yeah, I see it.
And then in FY 25 it was 3.2 million.
Mhm.
All these numbers underneath here I broke out. So if I added those back together, it's probably close or a little bit It's gonna be
Oh,
over
okay.
that.
I got it. I see. So support, administration, food services, you took that chunk and you're reclassifying it.
Yes.
Whatever, bookkeeping it a different way.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. I'm
okay.
breaking out in a different way than it was previously done. And once everything's approved and we're good to go, I'm probably gonna break it down even more as
Okay.
a working document, so
Okay, I got it now.
you guys can
All right,
see.
last question.
Yep.
So is you're predicting a deficit, which is, we aren't used to that, I think. Last couple of years we haven't had that. Is that because of the shift, because of the student base? We have more in county and because of that lottery policy?
Yep, it's gonna
Is that
be,
you're forecasting less revenue?
yes, because I was hoping when I did my revenue, I did the tuition model and I was hoping to get like 11.5 for tuition, but
Yeah.
right now realistically, we're at 11.2.
So speaking to, this is important for you to know, speaking to Representative Ted Phillips yesterday, firsthand yesterday, and a few other reps, they said they're watching carefully how this proceeds
Plays out.
and they want to get background and input.
Yep.
Because, and then if we have any concerns, okay, we'll make sure they let them know that in terms of a decrease in revenue or maybe an increase in Chapter 70, special ed funding. That's the stuff they're looking for.
Right.
So that perhaps they can make some changes or alterations next year. So there's
And
one right there.
And it's also important to pull out special ed because they have to reach a certain criteria of
That's
money
right.
spent, maintenance of effort. So I really made sure I pulled those salaries and the stuff that they need.
Just saying, we can flag it like next year,
Yep.
make a little bookmark or whatever, because they do want to get our input and maybe there's something we can do. And we're looking at the following year.
Yeah.
This is good data here. Yeah.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, the funding model, the way that we charge tuition both in county and out of county with this new lottery, inclusive of that, also the fact that historically for years, the Aggie had more out of county than in county tuition.
Right.
But in the last few years, we've been trending more from like a 55-45
Mhm.
out to in.
Right.
We're more 50-50 like we were this year. Right now, with the way the enrollment's going with the lottery, we are trending towards more in county.
Right.
So and when you look at, the in county tuition is just over $5,000, I
Right.
believe.
Well,
The out of county tuition is, well, it's going to be over 30.
right.
So there's a $25,000 difference times 10 students.
Right.
That's $250,000 in 1 year. Now, if that trend continues over the next 4 years, whereas that trend happens in all 4 grades, it's $1 million.
Yeah.
At least $1 million
Right.
deficit just because of where our kids are coming from. That is an
Right.
unsustainable model,
Mm.
and that's impacting us.
Right.
It's already.
Well, that's what I say. That's what I'm trying to say. In other words, the deficit is based primarily on the fact that the model shifting.
Right.
And
Right.
we want
Residency.
to make sure they're aware of that.
And we
Okay.
could increase
Right.
tuition, or we can play with those numbers. I don't know what the politics are around that.
No, but it was part of when we had our own, let's face it, the admission this year, we had nothing to do with it. They just had a number and that was it. That was it. They were given a number so there was really very little kind of oversight. There was some, but very little. So that's, something to factor in.
And this budget hasn't been cut at all. I took all those requests from everybody and put them in, but we haven't gone down
We're gonna
101
go
and
through,
hit say,
I mean-
Jenna, let's get rid of it. We haven't cut
Yeah,
yet.
because like Jenna mentioned,
All right.
there are some new positions in there. Well, we're going to go in. They're in there. Doesn't mean we're going to advocate for them. We have to go through. We're going to sit together at a table like this and go through everything and look at not just potential positions, but also individual department budgets.
Mhm.
Because we have historical information of what they've been allotted, what they received in their budget, but also what they spent.
Mhm.
So we're going to be looking at what do they truly need in order to run sufficiently in order to deliver educational services to students. And we are going to go through this and we are going to, make decisions. And, but one of the things that I can share already is that, special education, students with IEPs, we've had a pretty stable historic number of students that we enroll that have IEPs.
Right.
But the level of their need is becoming more and more significant, which equates to more costly. And the way we're trending right now with the lottery, the initial numbers we have now, we are trending more special ed. So therefore, that is going to relate to possibly needing one of those new positions is a special ed teacher. So that's one of the things that we're probably going to have to do. And the thing with that is it's a compliance issue. There's no way around it. And when you look at the other staff we have, I mean, we're gonna have the same number of students, regardless of what towns or counties they come from. So it's hard to cut a staff member because where are those kids gonna go? We need, so it's and I can share with you, every school in the state right now, even from the most wealthy districts, are in the same boat. Budgetarily.
It came out loud and clear yesterday. Yeah.
But the
Thank you.
reserve, how do I get this reserve fund contribution? Where does that come from? Okay, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it. Okay, that's
We're
the.
gonna take everything under consideration, talk
Yes.
about it later.
Okay, great, thank you.
A lot of the
Great
talk
job.
will be
Thank you.
you and John, and then we'll go, from there.
Okay.
But we're ready to go.
And I have more detail if eventually when you need
Okay,
it.
ask for it.
Yeah, yep.
Commissioner Collins, you have any comment?
I'll send, thank you.
You'll wait, okay. And I'm okay.
Given the amount of time you've been on the job, you did a great job. You did.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I was just trying to understand what your methodology.
Yep.
I understand it now. It's good.
And I wanted to make the budget book in Excel where I could pull formulas and summarize differently. And that's why I have all categories for every single item and I have them tagged and summing on the front page. So all those details are in that electronic file. So I think we're at a good spot, but it's almost there. And
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay,
I move we take the Norfolk County Agricultural High School budget for fiscal 2700.
motion seconded, made and seconded relative to taking the 26-27 Norfolk Agricultural High School budget under review. Motion, all in favor?
All right.
We're in the review stage now.
all
Thank you very
right,
much.
all right,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Have
All
fun.
right,
Yep. Good
thank
seeing
you,
you.
Jeremy, nice to see you. Okay. Thank you. We're gonna go back to the regular March 4th, 2026
You want to make a motion under item 3?
agenda. I'm sorry, what?
You want me to make a motion under item 3?
And we're gonna go into executive session. Yes, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter
Thank you.
38, Section 21, subsections A and subsection 3. To discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining and litigation, if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares.
Second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. I'm going into executive session. I'm gonna call the roll. Commissioner Stady,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
Chair Shea votes to go into executive session. I may say at the outset of this executive session that after executive session, we're going to return to the regular to the regular agenda that's before us today. So we will be returning. Roll call vote to go into executive session.
We did
We
that.
did the roll call.
Right, did it.
Back on the record for our Wednesday, March 4th, 2026 meeting. Thank you very much. Upon completion of executive session number 3, we're going to go to number 4. Minutes, acceptance of minutes, the open session meeting of February 25th. They are not ready, I understand. I'll take a motion to continue it till next week.
Motion to table the minutes, so,
Second the motion.
all the commissioners are ready to review.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table minutes of February 26th till next meeting. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Back to item number 5, appointments. Departmental budget reviews with the commissioners. Earlier in this meeting, we completed our initial budget review and took the budget of the agricultural high school under advisement as we have done for our other 7 departments. Under the same item, we have 2 budgets less for review. The Commissioner's Office and Regional Services. Direct everything to John Cronin for these 2 budgets.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll bring Mr. Buckley in for the regional services one, but if you don't mind, I'll
That's fine.
ask you to open up your binders and we'll tackle the Commissioner's Office budget, which for the purposes of this discussion will include a brief review of the debt service as well as miscellaneous expenses. And then we'll get to the Commissioners. So all 3 are in the packet. So beginning with debt service, As the commissioners may understand this, the county has primarily two forms of bond related expenses out there on the street. The first is the so-called Dome Project, the court building renovation, and the second are a series of loans for school renovations for the last several years. So these bonds, which includes the debt and below it the interest, those costs associated with the schools are paid by the schools through their appropriation. And as you can see, this is some minor movement as we move ahead with the payoff of these bonds. That is it. Overall, the increase is really directly related to costs associated with the increase of bond debt. Moving on, miscellaneous and contingent expenses. 1 second. I don't see that one in my packet. Can I borrow yours, Joe? If you don't mind?
It's right here.
Thank you. So in this particular item, I just want to call out, as you can see, two primary areas. Under insurance, you're going to notice that the group insurance costs are projected to go up dramatically in FY27. We've received notice from the Mayflower Municipal Health Group that their vendor is recommending an increase of 15.4%, or $722,000, $722,521. Towards the back of your packet, you'll find an email from Kelly Morse. It looks like this. It has a brown banner at the top if you want to open that. During the recent discussion between Mayflower Health Group, there was extended dialogue between the steering group and the board about what's driving this increase. And I just want to note, especially for people who are listening that may be members of the Mayflower Health Group, that the vendor who works for Mayflower is projecting the cost increase I just mentioned, which will exclude GLP weight loss medications and adds instead a weight management program. The vendor stated the increase would be 24% if GLP weight loss drugs were included. You can see that was a driving cost. And I will tell you, when either Bill or I attend the Norfolk County Managers meeting every month, we've heard this for the last 2 years about how health plans across the county, frankly across the state, saw tremendous increases driven by this weight loss program. So I just wanted to note that the program, if it is endorsed by the board next week when they meet, will likely exclude the cost of GLPs. And if anybody has any questions, they can always call our HR department. But very important to note that this increase is substantial. It is not done. We'll see what the board says next week, but I'm carrying the bigger number out of the interest of.
Would there be an exception if the person, because of diabetes, some of the insurance plans
I don't know.
are making exemptions for that?
I'm afraid I don't know, Commissioner. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a good question. One can imagine there's certain needs that are beyond simple weight loss, but I'm afraid I don't know.
Okay.
That's another reason why if somebody has concerns, call our HR department. I'm sure we can get a good answer for you.
Right. Okay.
Following that increase, the other call out shows that increase to county retirement. I believe I've commented before that the county is looking at an increase in FY27. As many of you know, the Norfolk County Retirement System has adopted a plan to accelerate the retirement liability payments to tackle and resolve our liability by 2032. Consequently, next year we're going to see another increase of $429,415. Again, it's a large amount. Everybody's in the same boat as we try to accelerate our payments towards this liability. But in 2032, we'll see a leveling off to go. Under risk management, which is right behind that, you'll note that the cost of auditing services is going up to $65,000. That's as a result of a new contract that you just recently signed with CBIZ. So our FY25 audit report, when they get it done, will cost us $15,000 more. And then finally, right now we're showing $160,000 for legal service increase to carry costs for defending ourselves in the litigation. We'll see if that number holds up over the next several months, but right now that's pretty much carrying what we had in FY26 plus the supplemental that was approved in December. So from a miscellaneous and contingent expense base, I just wanted to alert you of those changes. Significant drivers of our budget, as you know, we don't grow by those types of increases, this will obviously have an impact on our bottom line. And over the next several weeks, I'll be analyzing how we can afford these increases as they land within our budget. And then finally, thank you, Joe. I'll resume going back to my packet. On the commissioner's office, just a couple small items. Contractual services largely staying the same. I am increasing line 5299 by $10,000 to 15. That is the number that we've been carrying for the last several months. We supplemented this in FY26 because we've had a need for additional contractual services, especially in this case, most recently with the flex of the RSVP program. We're using contractual services 2 times this year, so we're looking to augment that for FY27. No changes in Group 3, Group 4, and Group 5. And then finally, on the last page, Commissioners, the salaries reflecting, in our case, all non-union staff receiving a 3% cost of living allowance, which shows the bottom line of $891,393. Of note also, at the very bottom, our longevity payments have gone down with the departure of some folks that have been with us a long time. We're seeing an adjustment for FY27, and we're still carrying the note for the American Rescue Plan compensation that goes to the director and assistant county director. So little or no changes to the commissioner's budget, but substantial changes under miscellaneous costs and expenses. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Everyone in our unit, except Chief Procurement Officer and Manager of Administration and Budget, are non-union. How did they pick?
They're all non-union. Yes.
How come those 2 are in the union?
Yeah, that's a typo we want to remember. They're not.
But I'm sorry?
They're not. That's a typo.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, thank you.
okay. I didn't think.
Where's the RSVP budget?
You'll see that next with Mr. Bob.
Okay, my bad. Okay.
Next is,
Okay. Okay. I have no questions.
when are we gonna be through with the American Rescue Plan Act compensating some individuals?
I believe the note reflects that'll be at the end of April of 2027.
That's what it says. Thank you. Don't worry about this year. Okay. I don't have any other questions at this time. Looks good. We will pay no obligation to the retirement.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have no other questions. Anyone else have a question?
I'm all set.
Okay, I'll take a motion to place all of these under review as we've done with every other budget. Oh, no, we have to hear from Bill first. I'm sorry.
No, Bill's separate, isn't he?
Yes, he's the regional service.
Bill's the next item.
Okay,
Richard made a motion, I'll second the motion. To accept the commissioner's budget for review.
which made a second on Commissioner's budget. All in favor?
Right?
Aye. Under review. Thank you very much. Bill Buckley.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
temporary acting Norfolk County Commissioner Emeritus. It's nice to be back here at the table after last week.
Oh, boy.
You can tell I'm helping county by not being on GLP-1s myself, so we're always trying to save nickels and dimes for you.
There you go.
There you are.
Where is your, oh, there it is. Okay.
Perfect.
No,
Well, we're lean and mean. Unfortunately, the boys of Weights and Measures couldn't be here. They're actually at a conference today
Oh.
up in Marlboro. Bill Mullen actually is giving a riveting talk about measuring textiles and woolens and rope. So
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
sure he would have rather been here with us for sure.
Oh.
This budget is a smaller budget. It's a spin-off department as sort of our regional. Our services have taken off in the last few years. As we know, especially coming after Director Cronin's remarks, this department will really take off once our pension liability is done. And when we look at FY 32, 33, 34, that's the time when we can really start to, hopefully, having done a lot of groundwork, really take off as far as additional services to our constituent cities and towns. In the meantime, we continue to do great work in two sort of marquee programs, our RSVP and our weights and measures. I am requesting to continue to have 4 individuals, 2 in the weights and measures department and 2 in the RSVP program at this time. We have baked in the 3% raise for all employees, save for the second RSVP employee, which I'll get to in a moment. That person we put in as a $60,000 salary. You may, because they will be coming in new. You may remember we've had a lot of discussions over the last really year with the volatility and uncertainty surrounding RSVP funding. So as this board has taken a number of steps, first with a temp, now with an additional temp, to get that RSVP work done. We've received good news. Lucille is in the process of applying for the next 3 years of the grant. So we feel confident now that with that news from the federal government to go forward and continuing the RCP program as we have had in the past with 2 staff members. I will point out, importantly, that the difference over the last couple of years is we're adding riders. We're doing more. Services are continuing to go. So we're very happy about that. So that is the 3% increase on our regional services salary. As far as general expenses, we have 2 group codes for general expenses, $30,000 for RSVP general expense and 20 for weights and measures. I'm recommending level funding that as well. We do anticipate in both, at least in the weights and measures department, to return some funding to you. Just a quick note on revenue. RSVP, the grant last year was $86,192. As you can see, those are the various fees for our cities and towns. Dedham being the largest because they have so many oil trucks. They have so many more billable hours. We were very happy to close out calendar year 2025 with every device in a short period of time in a 3-month sprint in Dedham was sealed. Dedham made a lot more revenue than they normally did, which helped lessen the burden of the $30,000 payment to us. So they're quite happy over there. With 6 communities fully online as we look at this budget, I'm not recommending any additional staffing. We continue to have, Bill is having dialogues as we speak with his colleagues. See, there's a couple of folks, Sharon Bellingham, who are close to retirement. We're circling there. We're in negotiations currently with Norfolk, and we just reached out to Plainville after a productive conversation. This commission has been very good at publicizing that program and encouraging people. So we've had preliminary dialogues with some of our larger eastern county towns that we hope to be fruitful in the long term. And but I continue to project $82,900 for revenue next year. As far as capital requests, weights regional services has never had a capital line item. We don't think we should change that. Weights and measures does not anticipate currently any large capital needs, perhaps some chairs and some reworking of their space down in the basement of the Registry of Deeds building. We will also note that in the event some of these larger cities and towns in the east of the county come on, we may have to have a dialogue with you and submit requests for a slip-on oil prover. Right now, as we've kind of showed you in your pictures, you get that big 5-gallon drum, you fill it up with oil, you test it, you put it on a cart, you wheel it back to the plate in the ground that goes back into the oil tank. You take 20 seconds and with a motion very deliberately put it back into the ground. Now, if you add those larger communities, that's a lot more gas stations. It's a lot more labor intensive. There are pieces of equipment that we occasionally do use and occasionally are loaned to us by the state, which we have a great working relationship of, that slip onto the back of an F-250. You can do like 10 gas pumps and it all goes into a central collection. So you do a bunch more inspections before you have to drive over, if not walk over, and just empty a tank. So it cuts about, if you did one of those, like if you think about those large gas stations, say up on 128 in Canton by the Blue Hills there, it would cut the time and effort of doing those in about half, We don't see the need for that now, but should the program continue to grow, we get those bigger cities, those pieces of equipment like that would be probably in the $50,000 to $75,000 range on our list. So those are the general observations of the program. Lean and mean, we're excited for the future. I hope by the end of this fiscal year, have at least one or two of the smaller eastern towns landed for you, but we continue to talk with some of our other communities as well. That is all I have.
Further eastern?
Easton?
Did you say further eastern?
Well, we're always looking. I know Commissioner said you've had some great dialogues with some of the towns in the east, and they may not be ready to sign on now. But if we get the bigger ones, we're Director Mullen is excited to tackle them. We may have to look at staffing and things in the future.
Any further questions about regional services?
It's just real quick, Mr. Chairman, through you.
Yes.
I'm reading your budget. I got what you're requesting. I would love to have seen like what you had funded like for 26. This is 27.
Mhm.
Can you just give us maybe when you can like a total amount? Like how does that requested amount compared to prior year?
Oh, it's a 3% increase,
3% increase. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
and below that in expenses, it's a 0% increase. That's flat.
okay. Okay. All right. So
That's his revenue. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So
Thank
you're on
you.
track. Thank you very much.
Motion to accept
Yep.
the report on the Department of Regional Service and take it under advisement.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Move to the table and take under advisement the regional services.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything
And
you
we
want to say?
recognize
Lucille?
Lucille,
You're okay
Cass
for
is
another
done.
year?
our director.
Thank you.
Hello, Lucille.
Thank you, Bill.
You have trouble lifting those gallons of oil, Lucille will help you, Bill.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
good, right?
Number 6,
Okay.
Thank you.
public comment. Every week we have a session in our meeting that public can come in and comment, or they can speak through the outside service that we have, the remote, that's it. Now, if anyone has a reason for public comment, now is the time to bring it to attention. Director Cronin, are you aware of any outside comment?
No, sir.
Public comment. Last call. Okay, that concludes number 6. Number 7, old business, I have none. Number 8, personnel matters for consideration. Commissioner State.
Oh, yes, Mr. Chairman. Norfolk County Agricultural High School, I move approval of the rate change for Laura Damon as Executive Administrative Assistant at the rate stated effective date 2/18/26. So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. On a rate change for Laura Damon as Executive Administrative Assistant. She does a terrific job. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
At the Norfolk County
Treasurer's
Treasurer's Office, yes, sir. I move the motion to approve the notice of retirement for Joseph Doria as Chief Executive Assistant Accountant at the rate stated effective date 3/31/26. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the notice of retirement of the Joseph Doria as Chief Executive Assistant Accountant. JG, flat rate. Effective 3/31/26. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Needless to say, there'll be more to say later in the month on Joe. Anyone that works here for 30 years deserves all of our accolations. Joe does a great job. He's a great guy. Next,
I move the notice of appointment for Robert Fontana as Deputy Treasurer at the rate stated effective date 3/16/26. So moved.
Second.
motion made and seconded on the appointment of Robert Fontana as Deputy Treasurer, flat rate one, as flat rate stated above, effective 3/16/26. He'll be here for a couple of weeks
Right.
to work with Joe,
Joe.
get some of that knowledge out of Joe's head. Robert of Quincy recently competed on a search. I don't know, did you interview 5 individuals?
Sounds about right.
Okay. We're excited for Robert. Next, Lawson
No, we
Riff,
didn't vote.
vote on
We didn't vote.
Fontana, I'm sorry. Motion made and seconded on Robert Fontana as Deputy Treasurer, effective 3/16/26. All in favor?
Aye.
That's 3-0. Thank you. Recreation Facility Wollaston.
Notice of rehire. Make the motion to rehire Michael Smith as seasonal golf associate effective 3/11/26. So moved.
Second.
Notice to rehire Robert J. Smith as seasonal golf course associate effective 3/11/26. All in favor?
I should have done this one too. I'm gonna skip down. I also make a motion to approve John Sassy as seasonal golf associate, also at the rate stated effective date 4/1/26. So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, wait, Joe said,
Yeah,
notice to rehire for John Sassy
right.
as seasonal golf course associate effective 4/1/26. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I think next is a group. I'll make a motion to approve the contingent employment for Daniel McGann, Rebecca Jonah, Daniel LaBelle, and Nathan Fanev as seasonal golf associates, all at the rate stated, with the dates ranging from 3/11/26 through and including 6/1/26. So moved.
Second.
Motion moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
This is
Jim.
approved.
Jim.
Director Cronin.
Just a quick note for the commissioners' knowledge. You just approved the seasonal hire of a batch of individuals with a Wallaston recreational facility. I want to thank our human resources specialist, Maureen Leiden, our golf pro, Sue Calabro, and of course, Carl Miner for conducting a very successful recent job fair. About a week and a half ago, they had over 20 people hired from that job fair. Over 24 people showed up, and they will be having another job fair on March 25th. They're going to join the state's mass hire program to again recruit and bring new people on. So very successful process and good start for the golf season for the Wallaston Recreational Facility.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Director. A couple of milestones here, February milestones. 2 employees, one at the registry of deeds and one of Director of Maintenance Department. Nancy Carroll, Register of Deeds, celebrating her 20th year of county service. And Ed Gore, Maintenance Department, Quincy District Court, celebrating 25 years of county service. Just a shout out, wish them well. For their employees. Next,
Warrant list.
I don't see it.
You skipped that.
Did we skip that?
You skipped the warrant list.
Where was it?
Right. That's. What is it?
Oh, no, it's number 8, personnel. No. Now we go to payroll and expense.
Okay, all right.
We go back up. Yeah, we go to number 9. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll move the
Yeah.
following for the,
Correct.
under item 9, the warrant list for 3/4/26 as follows. Our first motion, 2635, payroll of the county to sum $141,823.89. So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is approved.
Second, move approval, 26-3518, payroll of the school, sum $404,486.76. So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
And last one, Mr. Chairman, move approval of 030126 expense of the county, the sum $40,389.82. So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. That concludes that item.
Payroll and expense.
Right.
Number 12, report from the procurement department on bid openings and contract awards. Seeing none. Number 13, report of the county director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Several items for the commissioners. First, yesterday I engaged with Hilltop Securities, the final stages of approving the FY25 in a report from Hilltop, who, as you know, work for you to oversee the securities, primarily the management of the bond related elements. And that report should be out in the next week or so for your enjoyment. The FY24 audit is approaching its final stage. I'm awaiting documents from CBIZ in the next week or two. That will include the management letter and the information for you to accept that document. I want to thank Chick Cushing and members of the Stoughton facility team for helping out the Stoughton District Court over the weekend We had snow removed from that location. Was the only location where the volume of snow inhibited safe passage and safe parking for people. So we had to bring in an extra cost of a service over the weekend to remove snow from the site because there was so much of it. Chick and his team and Kevin did a great job coordinating it. I'm told it looks great. So we've overcome that problem. Let's see. As of today, you have concluded the review of all departmental budgets for FY27. I will now take the presented documents to begin analyzing and preparing for your consideration a balanced budget to be delivered on March 25th. I will alert the commissioners that next week, pursuant to general law, you will be asked to present or view the public viewing document. This is the so-called FY27 public viewing budget. It's inherently out of balance because it shows all the wants and needs of a budget request against the available revenue, which in this case will be representative of FY25 revenues because we haven't analyzed them yet. So it's about a $2 million out of balance budget, but it'll be publicly viewed as required by law and it'll be on your agenda for next week. So looking ahead, you'll see a final budget or proposed budget from me in 3 weeks. I want to let the commissioners know we're proceeding with facility director interviews. We've conducted 3 to date. Gerard is still trying to nail down at least 2 more from individuals that we selected out of the 170 some odd pool, moving as quickly as we can on that matter. And then finally, I think the commissioners are aware next week was supposed to be the soft opening on March 10th of the Wallaston Recreational Facility. I spoke to Carl today to see how likely that was going to be. He's skeptical. He thinks it is most likely not going to occur. There's still significant snowpack on the course. Although he does expect very fair weather conditions next week. I think temps are going to get into the 60s and some rain. So we might see some elimination of the snowpack and experience no more than maybe a week delay. So that is your update. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions of the county director? Thank you. Number 14, emergency items, topics that the chair did not really anticipate. I only had the opening of the golf course, which we just discussed. I have nothing else. Commissioner's last call. I'll take a motion to adjourn. We have a regular meeting next week.
We adjourn at 2:56.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.